October 7th, the date that became a turning point in our lives, for us as a nation, as people, and for myself. On a morning of celebration and joy, at a party with friends, in a single moment, our world changed. From that moment on, nothing was the same. The night before, we were still children, dancing through life. But by morning, everything was shattered. The shattering of innocence, of routine, of sense of safety. Facing the horror, we stood before a choice, to sink or to fight for the light. During the first two weeks of captivity, I sank. I kept asking myself, and God, why I was here. Why did I deserve this? I did not kill anyone. I did not steal. So why? Why is this happening to me? As human beings, God gave us the freedom to choose between good and evil, to choose between right and wrong, to choose between happiness and sadness. That choice was present even in the darkest of places, in Hamas captivity. It was difficult, even impossible. It was a war in itself for me, a personal battle. So I cannot lie and say that it was easy to choose between sinking into depression or choosing life. But Hashem granted me clarity. I chose life. And this is what saved me. Hashem saved me. I made a conscious decision to fight for the light, to accept that this was my path, that this is what Hashem has chosen for me, to start noticing to the points of light within the darkness, and open my eyes to Hashem miracles, small and great. I thought back to the miracle that I survived where so many others did not on that terrible day. And all because of a light that appeared among the darkness. A light called Ori Danino. A 24-year-old young man who had only met a mere few hours before the attack, before my life would change. Ori, whose moral compass, bravery, the love of his nation and people, guided him to us, he refused to leave us behind. Despite being out of the danger zone, Ori was determined to save us and drove back into the active terror attack. Ori was kidnapped on that very day with us and held hostage by Hamas, heroically surviving inconceivable conditions of captivity for 11 months until he was brutally murdered by the terrorists among the beautiful Sikhs. Ori is a true example of bravery and ahavat chinam, and I will forever be grateful for him. Ori was my guardian angel, a miracle sent to me by Hashem. That isn't to say that I didn't experience difficult points in my captivity. I had many. One moment especially stands out. Itai, a friend who was kidnapped with me, was released in the first hostage deal as he was a minor. And me, I was left behind, alone, to survive this by myself. I was happy for Itai. I really was. But I was broken for myself. I didn't see an end in sight. I was left in complete isolation for 3 days. I was not allowed to do anything. But I could hear from the window the Gazans living and moving freely. How much I craved freedom. From behind the curtain, which I was forbidden from opening or approaching, I could see that there was sunlight. And I was stuck. Literally stuck. Held captive by terrorists. The next day, I was moved underground. During a 50-day period where I was moved underground into a caged cell in a tunnel in complete darkness, 120 feet under the ground, and complete isolation, I found myself smiling. Something inexplainable, almost a high. After I returned, it was explained to me in the Zohar, it is written that when a man becomes so connected to Hashem, he begins to feel Hashem's light. Maybe it was because there were no distractions in the dark hell of a place. No phones, friends, humanity, or even food. It was me, myself, and God. And that is where I felt Him the most. It is difficult to explain, but I felt Hashem enveloping me, enveloping me with His presence and protection. One of the miracles that I witnessed in captivity was also a miracle that helped me recognize Hashem's presence, was the miracle of the grape juice. In the second week of captivity, Itai and I received a gift from Maya, Itai's sister, who was also kidnapped with us but held separately. A 10-ounce bottle of grape juice. It didn't take me long enough to realize that this bottle was sent to us from Hashem so we could do Kiddush every Friday. Though Itai loved grape juice and wanted to drink it, we decided that we wouldn't. A small rebellion, a small rebellion. We could not control much in captivity, but we could choose to keep our Jewish identity. That small act of rebellion strengthened us both. We folded toilet paper to use as a kippah on our heads and saved the salt from the bottom of a bag of pretzels from the pretzels we received, and of course, a small portion of bread for a motzi. I took that bottle with me into the tunnels of Gaza. That small bottle of grape juice, that miracle, lasted for more than 1 year. I made the Kiddush by myself for the next 11 months. It made me think back to the miracle of the oil lasting for 8 days in Hanukkah. Throughout captivity, I developed a unique relationship with Hashem. I would wake up in what I could only imagine was morning because I had no concept of time, and I would say, Modeh ani. Every morning I would say, Modeh ani. Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai vekayam, שהחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה. רבה אמונתך. Before going to sleep, I created a ritual, a 5 minutes conversation with Hashem. Now, you know how people, they always ask something from Hashem. I need a bigger house, I need a bigger car, I need more money, I need this, whatever they need, they ask from Hashem. But no one asks him, what about him? How does he feel? What does he want? So I used to start that conversation by asking him, Hashem, how are you? How was your day today? Do you need anything from me? If you do, just let me know and I'll do it. And then I would say thank you. Thank you for the air that I have in my lungs. Thank you for the small amounts of food that I have on my plate. Thank you for everything that I have and anything that I don't have. And then I would ask for a bigger car and a bigger house. In a place where I needed help, a place of emptiness and such deep loneliness, I had someone to talk to. I wasn't truly alone. I spoke to Hashem. And the best way to communicate and connect with God did not have to be from a prayer book, but simply to speak to Him from the depth of my soul. Today, I still speak with Hashem every single day. I have taken upon myself the mitzvah of donning tefillin since my return. My conversation with Him looked different than they did in captivity. After I wrap myself with the leather straps and pray from a book, I try and talk to him as I once did. I'm still able to connect on a very special level, but not as often as when I was held in, as when I sorry, but not as often when I was held hostage. I really do miss that feeling of deep connection. But I can truly say that this is the biggest part of my healing journey. Anytime that I feel low, sad, depressed, I turn to Hashem and ask Him to help me, provide with strength and guidance, and to continue giving me strength to share my light with others, to give me strength to make an impact, as I know this has become my mission. Since I came back, I've been surrounded by my family and friends who give me so much support and love to continue and, and help me in my healing process. It's interesting and also something that I didn't anticipate, but I find it more helpful and comforting for me when I spend my time with other released hostages. And although I didn't meet them in captivity, there is an unspoken bond between us, something no one else can understand, something unspoken. We help each other through difficult days, even without speaking. I returned from Gaza 8 months ago and have spent my time in the US and around the world advocating for those who remain in captivity, to raise awareness and remind everyone that there were still human beings experiencing what I experienced. But Baruch Hashem, we received a miracle for Simchat Torah, and our living brothers returned home for rehabilitation. The road ahead, the road ahead of them is long, but I hope I can serve as a living example that healing is possible, and a journey that we are all still on as individuals and as people. So if I can leave you with a few final thoughts. After leaving this room, be proactive in choosing your perspective in life. When you're giving a challenging situation, look for the light. Look for the miracles. Take opportunities to give back and to spread light. Forget the way and ask yourself, what can I do? Be grateful. Show gratitude for the simple things, for your freedom, for your ability to open your eyes, to take a breath of fresh air in the morning, for being able to look up to the sky and see the sunlight and even the clouds. All of these miracles are Hashem's, small and great. Now, leave this alone. I really must say, you guys have no idea in what miracle we live in. We're living through miracles day after day after day. Small ones and big ones. When you wake up in the morning and you have the ability to walk on both of your feet, walk outside, look at the trees and the sun, you cannot take it for granted. Thank you for everyone in this room. And I'll finish off and I will say, I'm Omer Shemtov and I'm a free man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Omer,